Yesterday, which was the last race weekend, I was with two F3 drivers, an F2 driver and an F1 driver. And even though they're in very different situations, predicaments and environments, they had the very same goal or the very same mindset. And that was that this was their time to shine. Which pretty much means that the next few hours that they have at this race weekend, because they're not on track for that long, those very hours would determine their future. Now, it sounds dramatic, but can you imagine that the next few hours, over the next few days, 3 days, are going to be either detrimental or they're going to be the making of you? And you know that it's coming. You know that whatever actions you take, the results you get are going to predetermine exactly what you achieve in your career. Now, as we watch in normal world, people get nervous when they go into a job interview because they might not get the job. So they're stressing about it. They're not sure if they're going to say the right words, if they're going to come across correctly, if the people are going to like them and choose them. And everything's on it. So they get really nervous because they're going to go into that job interview. But that's just a bloody job interview. If you think about your whole career, that's going to be determined on your actions and results over the next few days. Can you imagine how nervous drivers get when they're in that situation? But it's their reality. When you're a race driver and you go into a race weekend, especially when it's the last one of the year, which it was for F3, in F2, in Formula 2, they've got one more chance in Abu Dhabi to prove themselves. And in F1, they've obviously got more chance. But with Liam Lawson, he's just got this small window. What he does here determines his future. He's got 4 races maximum, right? We think he's got 2 at the minute. Maybe he's got 3. Maybe he's got 4. It depends when Ricciardo is going to come back. But he's got this small window to prove himself. F2 driver, same thing. It's near the end of the season. I need to prove myself to F1. Am I good enough? I know I'm good enough, but I need to show it. And there's so many things out of your control. You can give everything you want on a race weekend. You can be the perfect driver, get pole position, be fast, but still either break down, somebody takes you out, the strategy goes against you. All of a sudden, you look like a mediocre driver. F1 drivers, teams look at you and think, nah, you're not really what we want, but it's not fair. This is the situation that drivers are in. And I'm not saying this so you feel sorry for them. I'm saying this because I want you to learn from it. I want you to understand that in competitive sport, on the world stage, or even on the national stage, where if that's what you're in, it's really important that you perform every single time. This is for everybody. Everybody who's trying to make their way through life, I really want you to understand that what you do today, this weekend, in the next few hours, is a massive building block to your future. So if you've got something you really want to achieve in life long term, you've got to understand that it's not just going to come to you, it's your actions in this very specific moment, right now, in the next few hours of competition, when you're at work, when you're at school, that's going to determine whether you're going to get there or not. And people forget that. They think, don't worry, I'll just put some hard work in now and then, and I'll get there eventually. But actually, no, it's you having this time to shine focus on today, or let's give you a little bit more time, right? On this week. I have got to create or make myself this week have a situation where I've got to have a time to shine. So let's get to the objective of this video. I obviously want to show that as a race driver, when you have this time to shine, you've got this race weekend, it's the last one of the year, you need to get good results so people look at you and consider you for the next year. I want you to use that as a metaphor for your life. You might be a race driver or you might not be, but I want you to really focus on what can I do this week that's going to put me in that situation. So if you want to get somewhere, you've got to be super aggressive. You've got to make sure that you put the pressure on yourself that forces you to make sure that you maximize and you strangle everything you can get out of this week. And then you get to the end of the week, if you're working a normal 5-day week, you get to the weekend, you're like, right, did I manage it? I'll be the person who decides or judges whether I proceeded or I receded. It's up to me. Or you put yourself in a situation where I'm going to go and contact so many companies to sell my product, to sell my sponsorship, to do whatever it is that you do. To force yourself to put yourself in a situation where you have to shine, and then you get to the end of the week, did I do it or not? I want you to put that pressure on you. To give yourself a make or break situation or environment or lifestyle or realization every single week. So you look at your life, you know what your North Star is, you know what your big goal is, and you think, right, going towards that North Star, what can I do this week that's going to be my time to shine? There's going to be make or break. It's going to put me in a situation that if it comes off, man, I'm going straight towards that North Star. And if it doesn't, I've failed and I have to go back to the drawing board and start again. This is energy. This is living life. I want you to do that for your life. Whether you're a racing driver or not, it doesn't matter, because this is about personal fulfillment. You getting what you want out of life, right? For this tiny amount of time that you're here. We want to live it. We want to extract everything we can. We want to be all we can be. Whatever your motivation is, I want you to look at this week, because that's pretty much what we can learn from a race driver, because they go week to week performing like a lot of sports people do. But how can you look at your life, take a step back, saying, right, that's my North Star, and now I'm bringing the timeline to the center point, which is now, because to the left of me is the past and to the right is the future. The center point is now. What can I do this week that's going to push me way outside my comfort zone? But if it comes off, oh man, I'm going to leap towards my big goal. I'm going to leap towards what I want. So I'm going to forge this future I've got. And if it doesn't, I'm going to fail. I'm going to fall flat on my face. What would that be for you?